What's up, everybody? It's Jay. Welcome back to another episode of Geezys Playbook. Today we have a special edition because the Fiesta Bowl is tonight. The Miami Hurricanes, the Ole Miss Rebels. We got Mario Cristobal, Carson Beck going up against Pete Golding, trying to make a crazy run for the Ole Miss Rebels after Lane Kiffin obviously steps away to take the head coaching job at LSU. Let's dive right into it. Miami is favored slightly at -3.5, despite Ole Miss's surprising offensive firepower and strong offensive line protection. They only give up 1.3 sacks a game. This should be a classic strength versus strength matchup. If we dive into some of Miami's strengths first, defensive, it's elite. They've allowed only 13.1 points per game. They have a strong pass rush with Ruben Bain Jr., Akeem Mesidor with 46 sacks total and a 40.5% pressure rate. Out of this world. That's almost half the time that the ball is snapped. They're applying pressure, obviously. Run game. They have a physical ground attack led by Mark Fletcher Jr., who has 172 yards versus A&M and 90 yards versus Ohio State. Quarterback Carson Beck, 74.2% completion. He's been steady in the playoffs. A little shaky throughout the regular season in the two, unranked losses, but he has been steady in the playoffs, and that's what matters. He's peaking at the right time. Now let's move to Ole Miss strengths. Offense and quarterback playmaking. Their offense is high-powered. They average 37.6 points a game. They put up 39 on Georgia last week. Obviously that broke my heart. Go Dogs. Quarterback Trinidad Chambliss has a 66.4% completion percentage, 21 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. But to add to that, he has 520 rush yards and 8 touchdowns with incredible mobility. So it's going to be on Miami to actually keep him in the pocket, and those backyard football type plays where he creates is where they're going to actually have to keep him locked in that box, because if you allow him to get in that Mahomes-esque playmaking mode, we saw against Georgia, he can get it done. Moving to Ole Miss's rushing attack, they have Kewan Lacey with 1,464 rush yards and 23 touchdowns. He's a dog. He had some shoulder problems 2 games ago against Tulane. He fumbled against Georgia, which allowed a defensive touchdown by Dalen Everett. Got to watch that shoulder. As long as he comes in healthy, he will be someone you have to watch. He scored twice even with the shoulder injury. So if he comes in healthy, it could be a problem. Their offensive line is top 20 nationally in fewest sacks allowed, only on 3.1% of plays. They have very good protection for Chambliss. So what you're going to have to watch is you got a 40.5% pressure rate for Miami versus a 3.1% of play sack given up rate by Ole Miss. So it's going to come down to that. Let's dive into some key matchup dynamics here. Offense versus defense. Miami's stout defense versus Ole Miss's explosive offense will have to end up with the Hurricanes aiming to control tempo. If they can slow down Trinidad Chambliss, slow down Kewan Lacey, and kind of put a stout stop like they did against Ohio State, they could, start to take control of this game. And I'm not saying in a blowout fashion, but in the sense of a 24-14 victory or a 24-10 victory, things like that. They will have to slow down Kewan Lacey and Trinidad Chambliss out of the gate. This will be a matchup of trench warfare. Miami's pass rush challenges Ole Miss's strong pass protection. If they can challenge the pass protection of only 3.1% of giving up sacks percentage-wise on plays, it's going to actually stifle Ole Miss in a sense of where Miami, like I said, can run away with this. Quarterback duel. Chambliss's escapability against Miami's disciplined defense is what you're really going to have to watch. He was able to escape Georgia's defense. He's been able to be mobile and playmaker-esque the entire season, so you're really going to have to watch what he does when he gets out of the pocket. Really going to have to watch what he does get out of the pocket. Miami keeps him in the pocket. They will have to stifle what they have going on. Recent performances, Miami did beat Ohio State 24-14, relying on defense and Beck's efficiency to be a game manager and execute to get that victory. Ole Miss beat Georgia 39-34, powered by Chambliss's playmaking and Lacey's rushing. So, -3.5. Obviously, if it was a home game, that would be based off the fact that Miami was at home. It is not a home game. It's a Fiesta Bowl. It's a neutral site game. This one is tough to pick. I've been very against Miami this entire year. I haven't believed in what Miami's done, but obviously stifling Texas A&M to 3 points and stifling Miami to 14 points, this one's tough. I'm going to look at some other predictions really quick before I make mine to see if any of the analysts the same way I do. Trench warfare, obviously, championship pedigrees. Okay, over under is 51.5. I think over. Like it says here on CBS, if Miami struggles to affect Trinidad Chambliss in the pocket, the Rebels win. If the Rebels can't protect their quarterback against defensive end Ruben Bain Jr. and Akeem Mesidor, the Hurricanes win. I would take the over 51.5. Ole Miss has scored 30 plus in 8 straight games. It will be 2 great defenses, but you just got to go with that. So currently out of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So out of 10 people, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wow. It's 5 and 5. 5 people picked Miami, 5 people picked Ole Miss. And a close one, too. I can't go against what I've been picking, man. I've been against Miami the entire time, just in the sense of I didn't think they played anyone. I'm not saying I have SEC bias because I'm a Georgia fan. I got to go with Ole Miss. I got Ole Miss getting a straight-up victory. I don't get into lines and -3.5. I got Ole Miss with a straight-up victory, continuing the golden, playoff run by Pete Golden and the Ole Miss Rebels. I got Ole Miss winning and going to the national championship, even without Joe Cox and their wide receiver coach. So I think Ole Miss gets it done, and if I'm wrong, I know you'll let me know in the comments, and I'm actually okay with being wrong. This will be a great matchup, and I have nothing to lose here. So I got Ole Miss moving on against Miami. Like, comment, subscribe for more content. I appreciate everything y'all are doing. We're doing daily uploads on YouTube. Just hit 100,000 views in the last month on our YouTube. We're at 1.3 million in the last 60 days on our TikTok, which is at WestGeezyJ, WestGeezyJay. Instagram is GEEZY_playbook, PLAYBOOK. Geezys Playbook, add S to the Geezy. Thank you, and we're out. See y'all tomorrow.